Money Vikings, Money Viking G here. Welcome back to the channel where we do all things wealth building. Basically, that's the whole theme for middle class people, for normal middle class people, not athletes and sports stars and Hollywood types. This is how to build wealth for normal middle class people. And along those lines, I wanted to say a few words today about Bitcoin and a rational middle class wealth building approach to Bitcoin. Because, and this was spurred by some negative comments I received on one of my videos about Bitcoin and my approach to it. And I found them interesting. I don't mind negative comments because it's the internet and it's full of that kind of stuff. It has a lot of good as well, but it also brings out the worst in people at times with negativity. And I try to keep the channel very positive. It's very positive. And the other thing is I'm only sharing what I'm doing. I'm sharing what is working for me as a middle class investor and wealth builder. And that's the whole point of Money Vikings. And that's what we've been doing for 7 years. And frankly, we have a really good track record, to be honest. It's worked out very well. And I believe the ideas and the concepts that we are talking about would work well for a lot of other people, but we don't give advice. So do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me at all. So with that, I received some comments about, pushing Bitcoin or this and that. And someone else comparing it to, a Ponzi scheme and all this kind of stuff. What's the fact of the matter right now with that? And let's look at that with the hard-nosed facts. Do I know for certain that it's not a big conspiracy theory? No, I don't. I'm not in some secret cabal and know all kinds of things of what's going on. But I can tell you that Bitcoin does now have a track record, over a decade of a track record. So it's not brand new anymore. And with the incoming administration, we know that it's going to be very, very Bitcoin crypto friendly. And in addition to that, we've seen massive adoption by BlackRock and all these large Wall Street types. If they're investing in something, they don't want to lose money off of it. They want it to grow and they want it to add value to their clients. Otherwise, they get fired. So there is an incentive there. But anyway, here's the bottom line. Do I think Bitcoin's going to continue to go up? Yes, I do. But here's my question for you to ponder and to think about. If not Bitcoin, then what else do we have? And what I mean by that at the current moment is that all assets seem extremely overvalued, or at least they seem high, or maybe they're fairly valued, whatever it might be. But I don't think anyone is predicting that real estate is going to go anywhere fast. It's expensive as heck. The S&P 500 had 2 amazing years. Will it continue? Possibly, but we don't know. But all these things return over the average, over a long period of investing for those of us in the middle class, building wealth over decades, over probably about 3 decades of investing. All these things tend to average out to like 9%, something like that. Then you throw off some taxes, right there. So you clear 6-7%. And then you're dealing with inflation, which has cooled down. Totally understand it's cooled down, but it's been running hot. And all of us in the real world know that it doesn't feel like life is getting less expensive. It feels like everything is expensive. That's the way it actually feels. Economists can talk about all they want about the numbers and this. And yes, I would agree that it's a strong U.S. economy. And I think that will continue. I think there is a U.S. exceptionalism here. But at the same time, for those of us normal middle-class people, it feels expensive and it feels tough, That's just the reality of it. And I don't push. Nothing on Money Vikings is get rich quick. Nothing. That's never been our ethos, and that's never been what we're going to talk about. We want to talk about the mindset, the investment vehicles, the strategic moves that a person can make to build substantial wealth over time. And it's really over time. It's kind of the slow path to wealth. It's not Again, I don't have any get rich quick ideas. So back to Bitcoin for a minute. Bitcoin to me, and this is what I said in my video, and I was surprised by some of the negative comments about it and pushing it, is because what I've always said is somewhere around 2 to 5% of total assets. So if you have let's say you have $100,000 net worth, what I'm basically saying is you're putting $2,000 to $5,000 into Bitcoin. Okay. Let's say it is a huge Ponzi scheme and it completely goes to zero, which I actually think is impossible now. I don't think it'll ever go to zero, but it does. Let's say it does. Okay, great. Well, now you're at 97,000. So you just have to keep in mind sort of the rational approach I'm taking. Now, there's another concept here. Maybe a person puts 5,000 into Bitcoin and it triples over the next few years. Well, they're going to have, $15,000. They wouldn't have been able to get that out of the S&P 500 or a dividend investing stock. That $5,000 in a couple of years would have been like, I don't know, let's just say 7, right? Well, that was good. That's not bad. Maybe it keeps up with inflation. Maybe it beats it by a percentage. But isn't it nice to have an asset that may potentially get you, 50% growth, for a few years? So I'm seeing it as a way to kind of juice a portfolio a little bit at a opportune time. And that's all that I'm talking about. And I'm trying to look at it rationally from the use case, the concept of digital gold. Once you open your mind actually to it, this is where it's been my experience. When I really started deeply thinking about what money is, something that the government prints, a piece of paper, when I really started thinking about what gold is, it's a rock. We just decided this rock is valuable. I mean, we could decide any other rock is valuable, right? So once you start really, it's kind of like going down the rabbit hole in the Matrix. I mean, once you start opening your mind a little bit to it, you're kind of like, okay, it's a fixed supply of a digital asset code and you own these Bitcoin. There's 21 million ever. 6 million have probably been lost. About 19 million have been mined. So there's probably about 13 million out there circulating right now. Tons of those have been vacuumed up by the Michael Saylors and the MicroStrategies and the BlackRocks of the world and the other whales. I mean, that own like huge chunks of that 13 million. I'd love to see, leave it in the comments if you know how much of that supply is actually available to retail investors and normal middle class folks like me. Not much. So it's an alternative asset class. Is it mind bending in a lot of ways? Yes. But I'm not pushing it to anyone. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. And if you hate it and you think it's a complete scam, then never touch it. Just go do your thing. It's going to be fine. Your life will probably be fine. But I tend to believe, knowing what I know now, that it's going to continue to go up in the double digits over the years. So I just think that's the reality of it. It's a supply and demand. It's almost like pure economics. Whereas, other assets, if you think about it, can all be manipulated in different ways. Stocks can be manipulated. Cash can be manipulated. Gold can be manipulated. Real estate can be manipulated. All of these things have their friction points and areas that they fail as a perfect asset. And so Bitcoin might be the perfect digital asset of the future. Am I still into other things and investing? Yes, I absolutely believe in that's the last thing I said on my video. If the person would watch it that made this comment, is that I believe in a diversified, thoughtful portfolio of very normal things, S&P 500 index funds, ETFs, some bond exposure, some cash, a little gold, even some collectibles. I like putting value in collectibles. I think blue chip collectibles will hold value over time. Maybe, and will, should go up a little bit. Real estate. Yes, I love real estate. But a lot of these things you have to realize are very hard for people starting out to get into. It's very hard for someone in their 20s to get into real estate. It's like, older people that have been in it for decades own all the real estate. Let's be honest. So what are they supposed to do? They're seeking out alternative assets, and you can't blame them for that. That makes a lot of sense. So anyway, appreciate you guys joining me. And if you like the content at Money Vikings, please like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification button. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks. Bye.